Hi guys, this is your On the Side Repair Guy, and today we're going to take a look at how to create an invitation for the Microsoft Remote Assistance program and how to accept an offer to do remote assistance on your computer. This will allow you to allow a technician like myself or somebody that you trust into your computer from a remote location in order to service it. So the first step that you have to take is to make sure that your system is set up to allow remote assistance invitations to actually even happen. So the easiest way to do this is to go to your search bar. In Windows 10, that's the Ask Me Anything bar. In Windows 8, you would slide up to the corner and your search bar would be there. And type the word remote. And in Windows 10 especially, it'll be easy to find it because you're looking for allow remote access to your computer. Clicking on that, you'll get this window for your system properties. This can also be accessed by right-clicking on the My Computer or this PC, depending on your Windows version, or by going into the control panel, but that's a little bit longer way to go. So all that you're really looking for is to make sure that this box is checked. If this is not checked, then you won't be able to receive a remote assistance or even actually run the program because it'll stop you from doing it. You can get in here, make sure this one is checked, but the moment that you check the first one, this one should automatically be checked. And you can also set how long your invitations are valid for. This is usually set for 6 hours, I believe. I generally set mine for 1 day, so you don't have to recreate a new invitation if your connection gets lost. So go in, make sure those are turned on, close those, and then we move on to the next step. So now you're set up to receive remote assistance, but the technician's computer doesn't know where your computer is, and even if it did, you still need to give permission in order for him to enter your system. So what you have to do is create an invitation. Now, I'll admit, in Windows 10, I still haven't actually found where to find the remote assistance program through the start bar or anywhere else. But in all versions of Windows, once again, you can use your search bar and search for MRSA. That is the Microsoft Remote Assistance Program. In all versions, this should come up and just open it, and you get your window. So basically, two choices, right? You can invite somebody you trust to help you, or you can help somebody who's invited you. Pretty straightforward. You want to invite someone to help you, so you're going to create an invitation. So you have three options, but in truth, you really actually only have two. Easy Connect here is for if you are inside the same network as your technician, and that will allow him to simply browse the network and find you real easy. You won't pretty much ever use that unless you're in that particular circumstance. Use an email to send an invitation. This is useful if you have an email program like Outlook installed and configured. That will basically create the file and actually insert it into the email program for you, taking one of the steps out. If you have that, great. If not, you're down to one option: save this invitation as a file. So basically, all it's going to do is copy your computer's information and put it into one of these RA invitation files. Now, the first thing that you want to do before you click anything else is to set it to your desktop, because it is really annoying to go looking for this file if it gets placed elsewhere. So direct it at your desktop, and then if you want to, you can change the file name to whatever you want it to be. Invitation 1 is what I usually do, because if your invitation goes sour, gets disconnected, and they don't get back right away, you end up with multiple files with the same name, and it's better to already number them so that they don't get mixed up. So you save that to your desktop, and you're going to end up with a password. So this password is what you're going to end up giving to your technicians. So the first thing that you want to do is highlight the whole thing and copy it. And you can see here's your invitation 1 file down on your desktop now. So that's where you can find it real easy. Now, here's where it's going to diverge a little bit depending on what email address you tend to use. I personally am going to use a Hotmail address for this one. So wherever you go, whether you're with Gmail, Yahoo, MSN, Hotmail, all that you want to do is go in, create a new email, and send it to your technician's email address. In the case of if you were requesting it for me to do remote assistance on your computer, on-the-side computer repair at gmail.com. So just give yourself the title remote assistance and your name so that your technician will be able to quickly find the file in their email. A lot of us who do a lot of work on computers have a lot of emails coming in, so it helps to be able to find it quickly. And then what you're going to do is do a file as an attachment. Either you look for the words or look for the little paper clip that represents an attachment, and find that invitation 1 that you created earlier and insert it into the email. Alright, so the invitation is there. Now, at this point, you can take that password and put it into the email that you are sending. I don't recommend that. When you are setting up a remote assistance as a technician, it's just a good idea to be on the phone or on a texting service or chat service with your client to receive that password from them directly so that you don't send it with the invitation file with the password. Never a good idea to put those two things together so that they can be easily found. So send that off to your technician and then give the password to your technician verbally or via text separately so that somebody can't get the two of them together. So you sent your technician the file and you're on the phone, you're on text with them, and you give them the password. Your job is not quite done yet in order to give them access to your computer now. So you're waiting for an incoming connection, and on the other end your technician has opened up his remote assistance program and he's put the password in. So what happens now is going to look a little bit like this. When your technician hits OK on their end, you'll get a question asking if you want them to see what is on your desktop. That's the first step. Your technician can't just come right in and take control of your computer right off the bat. The only thing that they can do right away is to see your desktop. So now you can see on your window you're now being helped by your technician. Your helper can see your desktop. So at the moment, as you move your mouse around and click on things, they can actually see what you're doing. And if you're not comfortable letting that person actually have control of your computer, that's where it can stop. If you're on the phone, they can walk you through, tell you to click on things. That's one way to do it. But there's a step above that. Your technician can send a request and ask you if you would allow them to actually share the desktop. So you get another dialog box asking if you want to give them permission to share control of the desktop. The moment you say yes, they have the ability to click, to type, to do pretty much anything that you can do except actually touch the physical tower. As long as you trust them, not a bad thing, because that means that they can do the troubleshooting properly, and it means that you can just sit back and actually watch them work. That's a real big thing. Regardless of who it is, never walk away from your computer while it is being controlled by somebody else. You may act, if it's somebody that you trust, you still may have to actually help them by reconnecting the session if it goes dead, or answering questions in order to point them to the actual problem. So when you actually give permission to somebody, don't just walk away. Make sure that you are paying attention to what they're doing, if only so that you can either reconnect the session or so that you learn what they're doing and be able to reproduce it yourself. Being able to troubleshoot your own problem the next time it comes around is always a really good thing. So if you're on the phone with your technician at this point, you can chat back and forth about the problem and the technician can help you find the solution. If we're working via text, by your mobile phone, or maybe by MSN, Messenger, etc., Skype, whatever, you may want to change over to using the built-in chat function. So on your side, you're able to talk to them and say hey to them, where they can respond on their side and actually ask you questions that way. If it's possible to be on the phone, that's great. If not, being able to chat is a great solution. Just remember that when you take your cursor and move it into the text box in order to click it, you are superseding their control of the mouse, so make sure that you are actually not interrupting what they are doing when that comes around. Just a little helpful tip if you're not on the phone with them. So that's pretty much getting set up for remote troubleshooting in a nutshell. If the session drops, your technician will simply ask you to reload your invitation or send him a new one if it's necessary, and he'll reconnect to your computer. It's worth noting that while you're sitting here watching what they're doing, following along, at any time if you feel uncomfortable with what they're doing, you can take control of your computer back simply by clicking stop sharing or by tapping the escape key. That will automatically give control back to you and remove them from control. They'll still be able to see. If you want to actually stop the share entirely, you can hit pause and hide the screen from your helper. So now you know how to create and accept a remote assistance invitation. Next time you need help from a technician, you know it's an option, and instead of bringing your tower in, ask if they offer that as a service. On the side, Computer Repair does offer remote assistance for assessing your computer to see if I actually need to have you bring it in for me to work on. That's one way that we can do the assessment without you having to lug your tower all the way over to our location. But in most cases, it's more beneficial if you think that you have a problem with your computer, just bring it in right away so that we can do a hands-on assessment. Much easier, much quicker, skips the step of having to go through all the invitation setup. So that is creating an invitation in a nutshell and accepting a remote assistance request. You can go and find me on Facebook at On the Side Computer Repair for any advice or my other videos. As always, please give me a like so that you can find me later on, and happy computing till then. This is your On the Side Computer Guy, signing off.